Hello and welcome everybody. It's Sunday afternoon here in the UK and Europe, and then Sunday evening for all of those guys in the Asia Pacific division here for Misfits Racing League APAC action here at the Hungaroring. Joining me for APAC today, it's not Seb, it's indeed Alex Pillow. Seb is a bit ill, but filling in is the Spaniard. Alex, how are you doing today, my friend?
Hello. Of course, very excited to see, of course, again another race of APAC. I think I was with APAC on Baku last time, and I really enjoyed it. So I really want to see this drivers race again. This time on the Hungaroring.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a little while, like you said. It's the Hungaroring this week. It's been a pretty interesting week of action so far this week with the Hungaroring. Two, DRS zones down into turns 1 and turn 2, and that makes it a little bit limiting in terms of overtakes around the rest of the track. But as it stands, we've had some very, very intense racing action. We're at that sort of halfway point. We just passed it, actually, a couple of weeks ago. We're at round 13, right now, with Spa next week, Italy following that. Some very popular tracks there. Then Singapore, Russia, Japan, USA, Mexico, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi to round us out for the season. But it feels like we've been doing, going through this season very quickly. But you mentioned there, Alex, your last time here was Azerbaijan. I think that was the last time Mikhail won a race. We're on a bit of a run of form from Ben the Bear right now. The last 4 races have gone his way in terms of the victory. So we'll see whether Mikhail or someone else can take that top spot away from the Thai driver today, because so far he has been on immaculate form since coming back from that break.
Yeah, surely. I think you're right there. Mikhail took the win on Azerbaijan and haven't taken again another win. So we will see if, well, with me again on the comms, he can take again the win. But I really know that Hungary is a track that Ben really likes.
Yeah, and that makes it ever so interesting. And we've got a little bit of a prediction going in the chat already. There's a prediction as to whether or not the Misfits Racing League lap record of 112.4, I believe it is going to be beaten here in qualifying. Ben the Bear, obviously, very quick in qualifying. He just said he's feeling pretty confident coming into this one. But we'll see what he can muster up and see whether anyone else could be. And we've had a few upsets, as it were, in terms of who's been on pole with, and who's been winning these races with Neon in Tier 1, making his Tier 1 debut with an astonishing race here just on Thursday gone past. But here we are. We've got 17 drivers on today's grid. Remco Van Putten sits at the top of the timing tower, and he's the first one out of the garage as well. Then Eccentric in the Ferrari, Cello in the McLaren, the other Ferrari with combined YouTuber at the helm. Then we have Panda, Ben the Bear, we've just mentioned, Matt, Shrimp, Peter, Mikhail, Captain of Gold, Emzo, Sid, Trin, Rez, Psycho, and Helium. I do believe the only reserve there is Rez in the Racing Point, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I think probably him will be the only one for today as well. I think someone overtook Remco as he was on the way out of the pit lane. I think it was Shrimp, who's just the first driver. I think he will be setting a lap. We can go through these tires because everyone is on softs except Ben, who's just put the new mediums, and probably he will try to do one lap on mediums as he always likes to do.
Yeah, it's a popular strategy for him over in that Mercedes camp. Combined YouTubers just put the mediums on as well in the pit lane, so we'll see whether that's sort of a test run. We see a few people try it. I think both of the AlphaTauris in Tier 1 gave it a little bit of a go. Didn't work out for either of them. And the softs here, they die out pretty quick, but everyone sort of wants to qualify on them to just give themselves that competitive edge here in qualifying and then see where they land. But the medium start can be very, very powerful. The hards as well can be pretty useful around here. But it is going to be Shrimp on the soft tyres. It's going to kick off qualifying for us in the Haas. Coming out of the final turn. Now DRS enabled at the end of the lap to cross the line to start that first flying lap. The huge run from the line down into turn 1. This sort of right-hander, nice and tight on the inside, opening it up with DRS enabled down towards turn 2. Again, another long run, which gives it a really unique start to the circuit. Singing out slightly wide to get as much acceleration into 3 as he can. using a little bit of the curb on the exit. Could use a little bit more as he makes the run down into turn 4. Very high speed left-hand corner. We've seen a few slips and spills through here. Almost touching the curb. I think he gave it a little bit of a tap through turn 5, and that's a very dangerous turn to be touching through the 6-7 chicane now. A little bit wide on the entrance to 6. Really messed his line up for 7. Through 8 and 9 now he comes, and he's sort of recovering a little bit, but there, just a slight invalidation coming out of turn 9 can really just mess up your lap. There's Ben the Bear on his outlap, but let's see. I think it will be Remco. It's not Remco behind. He's invalid. It's one of the Alpha Tauris. It must be Psycho, who is flying right now into 12.
Yeah, I think Psycho will be the next one to cross the line. One of the reserves as well as rest, so we will see. Out of turn 13, it seems like a very good exit. Now on the entry of the last corner, and it seems like he's going fast. We'll see the time out of the reserve driver on the Alpha Tauri. It's a 15.5, so we'll be looking to improve that time, because I think the pole should be, as we said, probably around the lap record of MRL.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, Mikau, a big slide coming through out of turn 11. Emzo, Cello, the two McLarens, a 113.4 and 113.7 for both of those. So they'll be happy with that one. Eccentric now to the line. What can he do in the Ferrari? It's P2, a 113.7 as well. Just 700ths faster than Emzo. And who was that? I think it was Matt Rez. They've both crossed the line. 114.1 and 114 flat, respectively.
And I can tell you, it's not the first time I see an Alpha Tauri spinning out of turn 11 on qualifying. So probably the setup is a little bit unstable for the team. Freeware as well did a mistake there. I saw Kapsangol, I think, going slow on purpose there on the line. And he crosses with a 122.3. So yeah, definitely he was going slower than he wanted to go.
Ben the Bear crosses 4th fastest with a 113.9. And that's on the medium tyres. So he's very, very strong coming into this one. Combined YouTuber, he's also out on that medium compound tyre.
Captain Goal, yeah. I think he's flying, but he's without energy, but he's on the softs. I don't know if he's trying to do a fast in-lap or just trying to put fuel on that car and try. But yeah, combined YouTuber as well on the mediums. He's out of turn 7. Almost invalidating there on the exit now. Attacking really this S section. Every time I see these corners, I remember Tuesday when Solzman got that win and he was doing the comeback there. And well, an amazing race we have to see, of course. And of course we'll be on the history books of MRL.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we'll see a charge quite like that at the end of a race anytime soon. But the fact that it's happened is impressive enough. And if you want to go and watch that, it's all up on our YouTube channel. It's got its own little video. Combined YouTuber 115.8, so about 2 seconds slower than Ben the Bear's time on that medium compound of tyre. And we've got a few people coming out on outlaps. We'll see who's going to be the first one. I think it might be Trin in the Alfa Romeo.
Ben is flying as well. I think he just started a lap though. So probably yeah, Trin on the Alfa Romeo will be crossing. Or no, he's starting one as well.
Yeah, Ben still just sort of putting in a lot of laps on these mediums. You see this all of the time. He leaves himself a little bit of time using all of the curb in the run down to turn 4. It's propping that car on almost 2 wheels, it looks like, from invisible. There's a huge angle as he comes now into the 6-7 chicane. Not quite using as much of the curb there. Those can be pretty aggressive. But he's just putting in lap after lap on these mediums. When he crosses the timing line, we'll see what sort of improvement he's got, if any, as he has a big snap. Is he out? He is! He's out of the session!
Oh, I can't believe it. He pushed too hard on the mediums. I think it's since Baku. Haven't seen a mistake from Ben. Wow, that's really impressive. That's really impressive because right now Ben, the leader of the championship, if I'm not mistaken, is out of qualifying. 13.9 was best lap on the medium, so probably it's not that bad. Should be around top 10, but really impressive to see the Mercedes driver out of the qualifying already.
Yeah, Trent qualifies behind his teammate at 114.8, but Well, this opens the door. This opens the door for a lot of these other... I don't know what Remco's doing right now. He seems to just be sort of trundling around at a low pace as Panda crosses a 1:14.2. Let's see. Mikau, he's on an outlap. This is his opportunity. Alex, he hasn't had a lot in the last few races. For about a month now, it's been. But with Ben the Bear out here, Mikau has got an opportunity to beat him in qualifying. Ben hasn't even set a soft lap time. So, I think for the AlphaTauris, Mikau almost needs to beat that time. He has no other option, really. If he doesn't, it's going to be a huge knock to his confidence because of this opportunity that's just been sort of waved in front of him.
He should be improving that lap. I think Mikau can do a 13 low easily. Around Cello's time on even faster, so he will be now starting his lap. I will be on board with him. He opens the DRS now, crossing the line. Starting this lap can be crucial for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Down into turn 1 comes the Australian. DRS enabled. We've already seen him have a similar spin to Ben the Bear. He just was lucky enough to keep the car in the session. As he comes through turn 2 now, into 3. And he's still going strong. Down into turn 4, using a lot less curve than we saw Ben do. It's a little bit wide, though, and there's the invalidation. So he won't be happy with that one. He's turning it down. It looks like he's reserving some fuel back. There goes the ERS as well. So I think he might go for another run here.
Yeah, now Captain is flying. Both AlphaTauris going off the way. He's now entering Sector 2. I didn't see his Sector 1. But it seems like he's flying and at a good pace. Not invalidating there on the exit of turn 9 and 10. Very difficult to do. Oh, almost losing the rear there. But he's improving more than half a second. Of course, the third sector is the one which is slower. He really, well, put the brakes, full brakes on the line. So we'll see now turn 13, really hugging that apex. Fourth gear 2, not having any wheel spin there on traction. And now as well, hugging the other corner, the last corner, running out of deployment. But now he will be setting at 13.4. It's not enough for pole, but it's so close between Captain and both McLarens there. So we will have to look at that at the end of qualifying because it's very, very close as Cello improves. Even more, it's 13.1.
Yeah, very nice time from him. Meanwhile, Matt just retired from the session. He crashed it, it would seem, coming into turn 3. The car's not there anymore, so we won't even get a look at it, but very, very unfortunate for him. Well, Remco's on another outlap behind Sid, who's on an outlap. I don't know if any of these guys are flying right now. I think most of them are on in-laps. They are. So a little bit of a waiting game until I think Sid will be the next one to start a flyer.
Or Eccentric even. I think Eccentric is now on the last corner.
He's going again.
Don't know if... I think he's going again, yeah. His best lap is a 13.6. He has done a 5-second time, well, 5 seconds slower that lap time was. So right now he will try to do again, but those softs can be a little bit worn now.
Yeah, and particularly we've said it already that the tyre wear around here is not exactly ideal. So to do what will be 4 laps, you know, 2 of them being sort of cool down lap, or 5 laps if you include the outlap, it's not going to be good to start the race on this set of tyres. So he needs to sort of go again on another set of softs, and I imagine that's where he's going now because he wants to get the most out of this soft, forget about them, and then use the other set of softs in his final run in those final 5 minutes. Sid has started his lap, Remco started his lap, so we've got a few other cars on the track flying, but all eyes on Eccentric at the moment. What sort of time has he got coming out? It's 1.5 tenths down. So unless he's had a big problem,
finish this one.
Yeah, me neither. I think he's got to come into the pit lane. A little bit of an issue through 12.
No. I think it's aborted. Yeah, it is. He had low fuel as well, so I really don't know how much he had there on the tank, but it doesn't seem like it was enough to push that 2 last corners and 1 in-lap. He has 6, probably 7 minutes, and as Matt is having some connection issues probably.
He's leaving and joining, but fingers crossed it doesn't cause him too many problems. Sid, a little bit of a traction issue coming out of the penultimate corner, but through 14 now to the line. DRS enabled. It's the first lap for the Renault, and it's good enough for P4, a 1:13.600. So he'll be happy with that one. Remco Van Putten, he's coming through the penultimate corner. Is this his first lap time to go onto the board? It will be. provided he doesn't overstep the line on the outside in this Red Bull. He doesn't. It's to the line. Where can he put himself? Remco Van Putten, ladies and gentlemen, goes pole, a 113 flat. And there he is, the Flying Dutchman, finally showing himself. He's been struggling all session, it would seem, but now he finally gets that lap in. And we'll see where that's good enough in the end of things, because Remco Van Putten, with Ben out qualifying here, he's down to 7th right now. I expect Mikkel to sort of join the party. Peter as well, although Peter's on mediums, he could really take advantage of this. But Ben could be pushed down to about P9. He'd still start on those mediums, so it's not in terms a terrible time. Combined YouTuber has started a flyer. But I think a lot of people could take advantage of this, and this could be the race where we see someone else win. We've only seen 2 winners so far this season in APAC. We've seen Ben the Bear, and we've seen Mikkel win. It's 9-3. 9 to Ben, 3 to Mikkel. In the other races, no one else has been able to secure a win. It's just been those 2. But with Ben out of qualifying here, Mikkel not having the time of his life either, could we see someone else?
This can be the day, yeah, surely. Speechy are now, will be starting a lap on the mediums, which probably can be the last try for him. He's right now on P15, 16.3 is his best lap time. It was with the sub, so probably he's just lifted before the line, has to be that. And now starting this lap with the mediums, as you said, combined YouTuber is going to finish one. He's opening DRS right now out of turn 14. What is going to be? It's top 8. It's 13.9, improvement of 2 seconds almost for the Ferrari. So very close to his teammate.
Yeah, very nice time from him to just sort of slot himself into that top 10. I think for some of the other drivers here, I think being Ben the Bear would have been nice for him. But Peter right now, he's found a lot of time through Sector 1. Just on the mediums alone, he's having a bit of a problem coming out of Turn 5, not Sector 5. I don't think we've got any track on the F1 calendar that can even warrant 5 sectors. But here he comes through Sector 2 now, and on these medium tyres, we've seen them not being competitive at all, and, well, he's just overstepped the inside there. Coming through 10, and that's not really somewhere you usually see an invalidation, but he's picked it up. It would have been a warning in race as well, so he needs to be a little bit careful of that track limits there.
Probably he has fuel enough, I think he has, because yeah, I think he has. Now he's putting again the hot lap mode on the energy, so he'll try to do again, but probably those mediums are still a little bit hot to 2 runs back to back. So we will see how those tires respond at the S's of Sector 2, because there's where you can have a lot of overheat on the temps, and you really don't want that. And as well, coming out of the last corner, you can understeer massively on the exit and invalidate your run.
Yeah, someone else on a run right now. Trin, he's on a pretty good Sector 1. It's a big improvement on what he had before. Looks like it's Helium ahead of him right now as he comes through Turn 9 into 10. This is where we just saw Peter invalidate. This time not the same for the Alfa Romeo. He's up 2 tenths through Sector 2. Behind the other Williams of Panda now. And 2 tenths isn't going to be enough, and there's a bit of a problem. Panda not getting out of the way there on his outlap. So I think Trin might have something to say about that after the race. But for now, all is good.
Remco has say enough, and he's happy with that time. It's a 13.0 with the subs, and he will not be improving. Probably he does want to reserve a set of softs to the end of the race, as his teammate is going to cross the line right now. Opening DRS is a 14.3. It's enough for P12. It's not a bad position. He can start with the hards, but a little bit risky to be there on the traffic.
Yeah, Captain Gold just invalidated his flyer. Mikkel's on one right now. We haven't seen a valid time from the Australian yet. Now, the question you got to ask yourself if you're in Mikkel's shoes, Alex, is do you go for just the fastest you could possibly manage, just push all the way, or do you just take it a little bit easy, avoid any invalidations that you can? He's kept it valid so far as he comes out of Sector 2. He's just got a couple of corners left as he comes through Turn 12. It's looking like a pretty strong lap from the Australian.
He's going for pole, eh? He's going for pole. We'll see if he wants to do this lap on softs or if he wants to go to the P11. Opening DRS. He's going full throttle.
He's done it. Pole position it is for Mikau. The two McLarens, they're both out on track right now. Emzo flying through, almost stepping out. Panda goes third fastest, a 113.182. Just slightly faster than Cello. Rez is going to get in the way here, or he just goes off, and I think he might have crashed it. He did. He crashed it to get out of the way. Yeah, there's a bit of a problem with some of these. I think, is PTR retired on track? Emzo has a huge problem coming out of the penultimate corner. Fingers crossed he doesn't mess up his teammates' lane. He doesn't. There's a big problem here in the late stage of qualifying. It's the second time we've seen this week here around the Hungarian. Cello, where can he go third fastest?
That's close. That's super close. Now we're waiting for Capsan because he's really pushing as well. 1/10 improvement out of turn 9. Turn 10 now, the Mercedes driver really pushing on these S's. We'll see the second sector is 1/10 and a little bit more. It will be enough probably to jump into P5 or even P4. We'll see.
Well, here he comes through 13. He's having a little bit of problems. Uses a bit more of the pit lane than I think he would have wanted to, or the pit lane entrance, I should say. But here he comes out of the final corner. Where can he put himself? P5, a 113.232, and he might have just been saved by Emzo's issues there through the final sector. So
definitely, I think he has that place, that P5, thanks to that, and Emzo will not be happy about that because right now he's on the pits, and I think that should be the qualifying. Eccentric, I think he was crossing the line around on the last corner. P7 for him. I don't know if he improved. I think he did. One place.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Mikau takes pole position on 113 flat, just 0.015 seconds ahead of Remco Van Putten in the Red Bull. Then on the second row of the grid, just behind them, Cello in the McLaren with Panda behind him, a late time from the Williams driver. Captain of Gold picks up the pieces for Mercedes after his teammate Ben the Bear crashed out in P5. Then we've got Emzo in 6th in the other McLaren. Eccentric in 7th in the Ferrari. Sid in 8th in the Renault. There's Ben the Bear on mediums in 9th place, so he might be redeemed on the strategy and combined duty, but rounds out the top 10. We'll go through the rest in just a moment. But if you're just tuning in, this is the last F1 race we have around the Hungaroring this week. F2 is tonight on the YouTube channel. That'll be myself and Bito again for that one. A huge shout out to our partners as well. Next Level Racing, if you're looking for a sim racing rig, motion platform, that kind of thing, be sure to check them out in the panels down below and the link in the chat, as we've got a few people rejoining the session. Connection issues being ironed out, strategies being finalized here for all of the drivers. I think we've got 17 drivers here. Hungary is provided a lot of action so far this week. Alex, any predictions ahead of this race, which I do believe is dry? I don't think we've seen any weather reports indicating otherwise in the chat.
Yeah, it should be dry if anyone is saying anything. Well, as we'll have this formation lap right now. But I really think it will be very exciting to see because we have difference of strategies, of course, here in Hungary. Just see at the tires, it's very different. Ben de Beer is the first driver on the mediums, on P9. But top 8 will be on softs, as well as combined YouTuber, Res and Matt on the mediums as well. PTR and Helium will be the only drivers on the hards. Between them, it will be Psycho and Trin, and on the last place, will be Shrimp as well on the mediums. So, as I said, very different on strategy. And Mikau, I think, he tried to go for the softs because Ben was on the mediums and he didn't want to be on the same strategy as Ben, so he wanted to try something different. And having on mind that Ben could be stuck in traffic, probably 10 laps.
Yeah, traffic can be a problem here in Hungary, and well, the difference being here, the soft tires, they are going to die out pretty quickly, so that is sort of the thing that's in Ben's favor. And well, with these soft runners, they're going to get, you know, out of Ben's way by the time, you know, all of them should be in the pits by lap 9, but most of them will be out of the way, you know, from lap 6 or 7. So I don't know if Ben will get caught in traffic, provided he gets a good start here, which he usually gets an alright start. So I don't think he'll be that bothered with what he's got ahead of him. The only problem I can see him having is that those medium tires, I don't think he was planning to start on them because he was putting in lap after lap on them. So they've got about 4 laps worth of wear.
Yeah, that's actually, didn't have that on mind, but that's really true. So he will have to pit really early compared to the normal pit window on the mediums. So yeah, it should be around at least 10%, I would say, of tower for the Mercedes driver. So not the ideal, not the ideal.
Yeah, we didn't really go through it there, but outside the top 10, everyone apart from Peter in P13 and Helium in P16 are on the on the medium combat tires. Those two on the hards. And then everyone in the top 10, with the exception of Ben the Bear, is on the softs. But let's see what we got as everyone lines up on the grid for the APAC division. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here on in Hungary. And away we go, a very long light sequence. Mikhal's got a better start than Remco Van Putten. How can Cello do? Panda, he's looking at the McLaren already up the inside as they gun it down into turn 1. You can see Captain of Gold there in the back as well. It's been a bit of a lunge from Sid. He's gone right into the back of the McLaren. No harm done as Panda looking up the inside of Cello. He's going for the outside around turn 2. On board with the McLaren, late on the brakes for Cello. He's going to defend up the inside. Can he hold it? He can. So he defends P3 valiantly. Peter, what a start he's had. He's up 3 places already. And now he's got an excellent run coming out of turn 3. He's already used 40% of his battery almost as he goes past Ben the Bear. The hard compound tires really working for him. Ahead you can see Accenture getting a little wide through turn 5. But my goodness, Emzo, him and Accenture hit side by side through the 6-7 chicane. The camera's not really giving us the angle that we want, and I think he's been hit from the rear by Sid. They're being collected by each other. Oh my goodness, they're all getting caught up on this McLaren. Rez is there as well. I think Matt got caught up in that one too. Rez and Emzo picking up a 5-second penalty. They'll probably have to serve that in the pits, so it'll be unlikely to get it removed. And we have a safety car here.
I don't know how Ben, and I don't know if PTR did it, but I think he avoided as well. Sid went into the outside, on the inside, sorry, of Emzo. They're on the exit of the chicane, and that contact cost Emzo he went sideways completely and had contact with Sid and all the drivers behind. But Ben went to the grass actually to avoid that carnage. And he's up into P7, but of course the massive pileup there costed a lot of probably end plates and penalties to some of the drivers.
Yeah, absolutely, and those penalties, are being served in the pits right now, so unlikely that they'll be sort of cleared post-race, even if it's not their fault. Bit unfortunate, but that is just sometimes how it goes, and, well, for Ben, PTR, Matt Helium, 6 places gained on this first lap. Very, very impressive stuff on those guys. The top 5 has stayed untouched, with Cello being able to defend away from Panda in that opening section. And then, like you said, Ben avoiding all damage. Very critical here. You've got Peter behind him. He's undamaged. The car's behind. I think everyone's damage-free now. If they picked up damage, they've got rid of it. Unless Emzo, he's got a 5-second penalty for the collision. But he didn't come into the pit lane, so we'll see. He's down 5 places. Is that front wing still intact? I think he got hit from the side, the rear and then the side. So I think his front wing should be fine. It is. So,
I don't know, he went sideways and 3 drivers were there, so probably a little bit of contact, but of course if he has to stay out with those off with that penalty, I really think he doesn't have damage, because, I mean, just having the penalty, I would have to think of pitting to get rid of that, but probably he wants to still commit to the softs and try to do another comeback, and he's hoping for another safety car. That can be a thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Safety cars breed safety cars, as Striff likes to say, and we'll see whether that one holds true here. But it's Mikhail still in lead of things, and, well, Ben the Bear now, P7 on those mediums. He is up a couple of places from where he started. He's only got soft runners ahead of him, and his worn tires that we were talking about, they've been preserved for a little bit longer with this safety car. So for him, this is sort of helping him a little bit. Tire temperatures are another story. But in terms of just straight up wear, he should be okay for the time being, I think, in terms of just how the strategy is going to play out. The soft runners, they can stretch them a little bit further. We do see some people favor the undercut. My mind wanders to tier 1 where we saw Neon. He knew the undercut was going to come out lap 6, so he went for the undercut of the undercut on lap 5. So you can see some big ones here, and Mikhail, Remco, they need to be mindful of that. Maybe Cello, if he goes for an undercut and makes that pay off, it could really work in his favor. But right now, we should have the safety car in at the end of lap 3 here. And then green flag racing can resume on lap 4. And we'll see whether there's any action in his top 5 as well as anywhere else down this grid, because we didn't see any in the first sort of couple of laps of, or the first lap of racing we got.
Yeah, these soft runners, as you said, probably just stretching their window a couple of laps, but it doesn't seem like it will change. Oh, and Enzo! I was just on board with him, and he spun it on the same place as he did. Well, I had that incident before. Now he has damage, and the safety car is on this lap. This is massive for him. This is massive for him. I think he lost it on his own.
I don't see any, well, there is damage on it. There is an end plate missing on that left-hand side. So, very, very unfortunate for him. The McLarens, they had a great qualifying, but for Enzo here, I bet he wish he came into the pit lane now because, well, I think he might even come in here. As up at the front, things get ready to be restarted. When is Mikhail gonna go? Remco's already having a look up his inside. I think he might be launching it straight out of the last corner. Remco very, very shaky. Lucky for him, though, Cello didn't really get the greatest start, but this could open up the McLaren
PTR.
to the Williams.
PTR on the outside of Ben. He will try it again on Ben. On the hard compound, he's leaving the space on Ben on the inside. Better traction for the Mercedes driver, of course, with those mediums. But PTR is still on the inside, so he'll try to dive there. He has the car on the inside. He will protect it that place as he wants, but the exit should be good for the Mercedes driver. But there's contact. He will go a little bit wide, but he has the place.
Yeah, indeed. And I don't know if Ben will be too thrilled about that one. Losing a place on the safety car restart is not how you want to go about getting things restarted here, but it is how it's gone for Ben. So we'll see how everything else pans out right now. His teammate, Captain of Gold, still in P5, not too far off the rear of Panda, who had a little look up Cello, but again, failing to capitalize on that sort of momentum. The front two right now, Remco and Mikhail, they're running away a little bit. There's 7/10 between Cello and Remco, and Mikhail sort of started to put a little bit of gap between Remco and himself. PTR, he's having another look. These hards really lighting up in these early stages. As he's having a look now at the penultimate corner, he's not going to find it on an eccentric, but the run out of turn 14 here is absolutely critical for the Red Bull and everyone else on this grid. Panda, has he got another run on Cello? He doesn't. He's actually got the opposite. It seems like he's dropping.
Sid had it on Trin, on the hards as well, so it seems like the hards are working, or it's only PTR and Sid who are making them work, because PTR now up into P7, and he had good traction on the exit on the start of this race as well. Trin having another overtake now. It's on Sid, so they exchange against the position as Helium is really protecting that P10 from combined.
Yeah, meanwhile, Ben is going to have a look at the inside of turn 4 on the Red Bull. It's a risky place to overtake, and he's just forced maybe a warning for Peter there. So, let's see. Ben really just going aggressive on Peter, but they're dropping to eccentric, and they're not careful. I think they're already out of DRS range here. And there's no DRS right now because of the safety car, but there will be in a lap's time, and this is bad news for Ben the Bear. The championship leader right now, 232 points to 207 for Mikhail. And Mikhail leading this race. This is an excellent opportunity for the Australian to close down that gap to the tied driver in the standings. Meanwhile, Helium, he's a kink in the chain as well. 1.4 seconds to man ahead. And there's this huge sort of collection of cars behind him just trying to get past. But it's the hard tyres versus the fresh mediums. DRS re-enabled here for the drivers.
I think Remco has an issue on the straight line speed because, or it's a traction of last corner or straight line speed, because it seems like Remco's not having like the opportunity to overtake there on the first corner. But Trin is doing, oh, it's a 3 wide.
Well, they've come out of it okay. Goodbye, YouTuber. Ahead of Trin here. A lot of positional swapping. They're still very close as they come out of turn 2 through turn 3.
Trim's very close on Rez, but Rez will have that P14 on the hards trying to go to the end. He's now pushing. Seems like he has more pace than Helium as well, as he closed that gap on turn 5, but the Streams will be very, very close there for the chicane. We'll try to have a look on the inside. It's not enough space to put the car there, so we'll try to think it better and try it next time, but still very close on this train.
Yeah, these guys at the back all sort of playing the long game, pitting for those hards, or maybe even starting on those hards if you're looking at Helium's case. As Shrimp picked up the first 3-second time penalty of the session. Everyone who picked up those 5 seconds earlier on has had them served in the pit lane, and Mikhail's in. He is sticking to the lap 5, well, the lap 6 undercut here.
Captain as well.
See
And
what
Ben is very
happens.
close on PTR. He'll try it. He's pushing there. The overtake. He's very close. He'll try to dive on the inside. Yes, he will on those mediums. PTR leaves the space, a little bit of tap there. Unsettles the cars of the Red Bull, but it seems like Ben had the inside there on the braking zone and he's up into P4. PTR will not be happy about that, but there's an incident behind. It's me. No, it's Psycho. Psycho on Shrimp.
Yeah, Shrimp there just sort of burning his tires up, trying to get that turned around. That's good news for Mikhail because it might give him just sort of a car to grab some DRS off of if he doesn't catch him already on the rest of this lap. But Mikhail, Cello, Captain of Gold now on the fresh hards. We'll see where they land after all of this action is done. Ben the Bear on the rear of Eccentric. He needs to be sure that he doesn't get caught out by this undercut. And Remco as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him come in at the end of this lap. But at the same time, apparently he's managed to do a soft medium, Ben, in the practice race. And now he's got, you know, a lot of space behind him. His softs have been preserved a little bit on the safety car. Let's see what he can achieve here in that Red Bull. He's not coming into the pits by the looks of it. The other two are here. So Ben the Bear will be promoted to P2 at the moment in terms of on-track position. Whether he's P2 after, you know, the pit window ends, we'll have to wait and see. But where are Eccentric and Panda going to drop?
I think Remco wants Mika to have traffic. Right now he has Shrimp to clear. Or probably he will clear it on this straight, but we'll see if Mika can do it because that can be crucial for him. Right now, utilizing that overtake button DRS, it seems like a very easy move. Right now on the hards, Mikau, the net leader of this race, but Shrimp will be defensive. There on the inside, squeezing a little bit Mikau. This can be very helpful for Remco.
Yeah, this is exactly what everyone else needs. As Mikau's going to have a look around the outside of 2. And now going for the switchback, but he's just too slow because of that, you know, has been popped. But now a great run out of turn 3. Could this be the opportunity that the AlphaTauri driver needs? He's going to keep going around the outside of 4. It's a very risky maneuver. He's still side by side coming into turn 5. He doesn't want to touch that curb. He hasn't. He's still going. Is he going to go for the lunge into 6? He is. He's got a bit deep, though. He's cut the chicane. He's given the position back. And my goodness, Shrimp is giving him a big, big fight here. And like you said, this isn't just good for Remco. This is good for just everyone else in this race who isn't Mikhail.
Yeah, Captain as well, closing as well as Cello. Right now, almost on DRS, if not DRS there. Cello knows it. He has to push, and he's pushing there to get closer on the DRS window. But Remco's staying out again. Remco's staying out again.
Is he going to go for that soft medium? It would be very, very interesting to see him do it. But Cello has got the DRS, so that can help him put a gap between him and Captain of Gold. Let's see what Mikhail can do. As Trin, he's getting pretty close to the rear of Combined. We've got a little bit of a fight here going down into turn 2. We divert our attention here to the battle of the Italian teams. It's the Alfa Romeo, around the outside of the Ferrari. And he's got that move done, but back to Mikhail. He's failed to get Shrimp into turn 1. Can he get him into turn 2? We've just seen it successfully work for the Alfa Romeo. A little bit of contact between the two cars. And Shrimp stays in P11. And Cello is being brought into this one massively.
Captain doesn't seem like he's closing enough, though. He was on 1.1. Probably he did a mistake or something because he's not able to close that gap on Cello. Probably struggling a little bit on the rear as he slips a little bit out of turn 5. But right now pushing. Now on the DRS, yes. 0.8 is the gap. And Panda as well. Closing. Eccentric. Everyone is closing. Because Remco is now staying out. It seems like again. We will see if he's spinning. Yes, he's staying out again.
Well, right now, everyone's being held up, so if he can make that soft medium work, with the traffic that... Well, it's not even a lot of traffic. It's just Shrimp putting on, well, a strong defensive drive, but for no real benefit for himself, and not even his teammate, really. He doesn't have a teammate, so... There is... I'm struggling to find reasons as to why he would defend in the way that he is. Just putting on this super defense.
To the leaders. Probably... Well, probably he wants to have some racing, and he's having it right now. Defending really, really good because Mikhail can't do anything right now. He'll try it on the inside. Shrimp squeezing into the grass, but now on the inside of turn 2, Mikhail as well gaining that place, but has a little bit of grass there on the tires, on the hards, on Shrimp. Almost spinning. Oh, double save there for the Haas driver right now on turn 2 and turn 3, and Mikhail is clean by right now in clean air, and Remco has to know that as he has Ben on his back. Remco has to pit. I think this is crucial for him. So right now Mikhail has clean air, and the next one will be Cello.
Yeah, absolutely. What is going to be, the call now from the Red Bull garage? Is Remco going to come in for the pit? He's not. He's staying out, Alex. What is going on that Red Bull pit wall?
Ben will try it.
Oh, Ben's going to have him here. Surely. You've been mentioning how Remco's been struggling in that straight line speed department down here. And, well, 10 lap old mediums versus 10 lap old softs. Not really a contest.
We'll try the switch back, but look at the tracking. The traction is not existent there for the softs. Well, the only soft runner of this grid right now is Remco Van Putten. And 2.8 is PTR behind him.
Mick out, taking his teammate for the evening. Down into turn 1, and Shrimp again being this sort of cork in the bottle for the rest of the provisional leaders. Look at him. He's just stopping everyone else from coming past. He's making that Haas very, very wide around a track that is notoriously difficult to overtake around. If you don't get him through turns 1 and turns 2, you've got to look for it elsewhere. And we saw Mikau really lunging for it into turn 6 earlier. You might want to have a look at turn 12, but there he goes. The cork in the bottle has well and truly popped out as he spins on the exit of turn 5, and Shrimp is in the wall. And that could change this race. Everyone who was stuck behind him, you could see Mikau absolutely tore apart.
They have Psycho as well. Psycho can really help Mikau. Of course, he's a reserve. He's not full-time driver for AlphaTauri, but still he can really defend this train behind him. As Remco finally goes to the pits, we'll see which tire is for the Red Bull, and it's the mediums.
Well, that's early. That's very early. He is going to be in puncture territory, but if there's anyone who can do it, it is Remco Van Putten. This driver is somewhat of a tire management.
Oh, but he will be behind on the train.
Well, he's going to be right in it.
Yeah, right in it. As Kamstein tries to do the switch back on Psycho, but loses the rear as Remco was just on the inside, but Remco has better traction on those mediums, it seems. He will not try the move there, but who's there is Panda on the inside of turn 2.
There is a lot of cars here, all fighting over the body positions, almost getting caught there. Remco Van Putten nearly getting clipped. Well, there was contact between him and the Williams of Panda there, but he manages to keep his car in this race, and with the traffic right now, he's all right. But there's Psycho, basically just letting these guys by as if he was blue flagged.
Seemed like he had, well, looked like he had a puncture. Of course he didn't, as Eccentric tapped him, almost losing the rear there on the exit of that chicane 6 and 7. So everyone now on clean air, it seems. Well, not clean air, but not that much traffic, as Shella will be trying to push. Capchan is still on DRS. Everyone on DRS except Eccentric and, of course, Psycho, who's now on 9-lap old hards.
Yeah, Remco here, the tyres are... It's just a big question mark. Can he take them to the end? And, well, given where he was in relation to Mikau before, look at that gap now, Alex. I don't think the tyre advantage is worth what it's going to be at the end of the race. He's not going to have that tyre advantage. If he can catch Mikau and put a gap between him, then maybe. But he's going up the inside here of the Williams of Panda. A little bit deep from the Red Bull, though.
Too deep. It was too deep, but he's both of them using overtake, but he has DRS. I think Panda as well, but now on the inside of turn 2, the same move, but Panda doesn't find the switch back. Remco blocks the apex very well. Now he's up into P12 and trying to catch Captain.
Yeah, he needs to catch him quickly here. A podium is still well and truly on for him, but I think the win might be slipping through his fingers. But we're on lap 13 of 35. He's got a lot of opportunity to, well, there's a lot of opportunity for other drivers to make mistakes. I don't know whether Remco Van Putten is going to enable him, his strategy is going to enable him to get into that winning position. But if Mikau has another run of bad luck, we've seen it in the past few weeks, he has not had the best of ends. One of them involving Remco Van Putten into the Vale chicane on the last lap of Silverstone. I'm sure that is one they'll all be hoping to forget. But right now, it's a very interesting strategic battle unfolding. And these drivers have sort of been stuck behind a Haas, and I think that's really changed this race up. But
Mikau now on Rez. I think Rez actually lifted there on the straight, let Mikau by, so it's an easy overtake for Mick. Now up into B8, clearing this traffic very easily, not like Remco, who's just tapped the rear of Captain. No damage, I think, for the Red Bull, but still he will lose a lot of traction there and speed there out of turn 1, so it's not good for him and his overtake. But it's not only that he's on the mediums, but he has this dirty air. and I think can really affect on the tire of the fronts, and not only on the fronts but the rears, and that really can be bad. He will be understeering more than usual. So I really think he messed it with this strategy.
He also has very little ERS, Alex. I've just noticed he is really cutting it fine. You know, even dipping into those single digits on the battery deployment. So he has got a lot of work if he wants to finish on this podium now. It's still very possible for him, but it's going to be an uphill battle, that is for sure. Meanwhile, Ben the Bear up the front. 5.6 seconds to Peter, who's got 4.5 seconds behind him. So he's got a nice gap here as Trent comes into the pit lane. Remco getting very close to capture the gold here. This could be the run he needs. He needs to nail this one here, but it's going to be Mikau on Helium first. The AlphaTauri looking for the outside around turn one of the Williams. He's got that done and dusted well and truly. Remco Van Putten, can he find it? He's going for the inside on capture the gold into turn one. The Red Bull driver up the inside. A little bit of contact between the two captains, forced off the track. Rejoins in 11th. But Remco up into the points now. Cello ahead of him. He's on for sort of a provisional podium here. As is, you know, Mikau. But then you got Rez here. Rez right now in P8. He has pitted. He pitted under that safety car for hards. If he can take those to the end here, and he could defend like we saw Shrimp do in the Haas, he could be on for a nice finish as well right now in that racing point. He just needs to manage those tyres really hard.
Really, really hard. He has to manage that. Because right now, he has pitted, of course. He's on 12 lap, all hards. So I really want to have a look on who has pitted. Helium and the top three are the only drivers without pitting. So Rez actually is on a net before. As Psycho's out. This can be very good for Ben.
Well,
there's a safety car.
There is.
There's a safety car. And there's the safety car. This is crucial for Ben, and this could be good for Remco as well, of course. He now has some laps to really cool down the tires, not having anywhere or almost anywhere. And, of course, will be easily to take it to the end, but, well, if he can take it to the end, of course. Oh, as Remco over excel on their safety car. But I think he will let him through again.
Yeah, the safety car's just waiting on the track there, and this... Is this good news or bad news for Ben that he's been, you know...
Good.
Yeah, this is good news. That the safety car is on the track there. Emzo's already in.
Yeah, he can pit for hards. Emzo as well really saved with this safety car. He had a spin under the first safety car, and well, that cost him 30 seconds almost to the pack. Now he'll put the mediums. I think they can go to the end. Of course, it's a little bit risky, but they can go to the end. But well, having Remco as reference,
well, Ben has to go for the hards.
Yeah, he has to go, and it's a safe way. Emzo has a drive-through for speeding on the safety car.
Well, here we go.
He's not having the best day.
No, Ben goes into the pits for the hards. I imagine Peter here is going to go for the opposite, the mediums. He is, so that's what we're going to see out of all these guys. Where does Mikau drop in all of this? You can see him here coming through the final corner.
I think he's in P3.
He could be in P2. It depends. Where is that Red Bull of Peter? There goes Mikau. He's got P2. He's done it.
This is very good for Ben. Peter was on mediums and was going to rejoin just behind the Mercedes driver, but now Mikau between them can really be helpful for Ben. But probably Mikau wants to let PTR by and then PTR fight Ben, so Mikau can have a look on Ben, because right now Ben with 9 lap fresher hards is really difficult to battle with him. So probably Mikau should think about PTR to put the Red Bull fight the leader, and then Mikau can have some places there.
This shuffle between Remco and Cello here is continuing. Remco appears to have overtaken the McLaren under safety car. I'm not sort of sure under what circumstances he made that move, but he has gone past here, and I think Cello tried to go around the outside into turn 5. You don't want to see racing under the safety car, but it appears to be what is sort of going on between these two. Red Bull right now in a good position, 3 and 4. We've seen them at this sort of mid-stage in the race before, be in a good position. You got both of them on fairly fresh mediums. This is good to preserve Remco's tyres a little bit. He came in a little bit early, but he's been saved here. His teammates ahead of him, but we've seen them time and time again battle each other in these good positions and just be too aggressive. Silverstone comes to mind, where they were in such a good position and then they threw it all away in the final lap or so, just being too aggressive. They could have settled for the points they were going for. They got too greedy. Are we going to see history repeat itself here? They've got a lot of opportunity here. Remco is right behind Mikkel. This is exactly what he needed. Mikkel's lead has been torn apart. This safety car is awful for Mikkel in every respect. His championship rival is ahead of him on 10-lap fresher or 9-lap fresher tyres, sorry. His other champion, well, his race rival here, Remco Van Putten, is on 5-lap fresher mediums right now, right behind him. His teammate, Remco Van Putten, is right behind Mikkel on these fresh mediums. This is terrible news for Mikkel, but with Red Bull's track record for fighting like this, it could go either way. So, only time will tell, Alex.
I think PTR has to really take this really well. He really needs to attack Mikkel, and I don't think Mikkel will put a huge defense against that, because, well, if it's going to be difficult for me to catch Ben with the same tires, of course 10 lap older, but the same kind of compound, so it will be hard for him. But imagine with the new mediums, which are fresher and faster. So I think Mikkel won't put any big defense there against PTR. And well, as I said, probably will let the Red Bull catch Ben and have some fight with the leader, and probably, well, just see what PTR can do to really disturb that Ben lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben the Bear right now in for a good race result. It has been a great run of form from him. Qualifying did not go his way, but once more, he has put on a stellar drive. Saved a bit by a safety car here. Now the safety car's coming in. It's going to be Ben restarting it. Last time it was Mikkel, who's just behind the Mercedes driver. He needs to be very careful of the launch, the traction that Peter's going to get here, because Ben, he's slowing things right down. As Peter's just run into the back of Mikkel. Yeah. He's lost an end plate.
Oh, it's 5 seconds for Mikkel and PTR, and an end plate lost for PTR, so this restart can be very, very easy for Ben.
I think Ben's gone. Ben has gone.
Ben is already gone. Almost a second there.
And there goes Captain of Gold on the inside of Cello. Cello, who's been tapped. The McLaren spins. He's lucky not to get more damage than that. And he's bounced off in a way that he's already got that car turned around. Peter, Mikkel, already exchanging the mediums despite the damage being enough. Panda, Captain of Gold, they're exchanging through turn 1 as well. The Mercedes right now, 1st and 5th, with Captain of Gold at the inside of Panda into turn 2 to hold the 5th position away from the Williams. Can Eccentric find a way through? He's just a bit too far back, I think, right now. But my goodness, what a restart. It's 3 seconds, though.
But I think he can extend that. PTR with damage right now. You will see on this sector too how PTR will cause Mikkel time. Right now it's 1.4, 1.5 to Ben. And now it will increase, I think, almost to seconds, but we'll see. I don't know how much damage he has. I know he has lost an end plate, but we'll see how much it costs.
Well, a very, very dramatic restart here in Hungary. Let's see how the rest of the race unfolds. We've got 16 laps to go, and Ben the Bear right now is 1.8 seconds in the lead. Like you said, I think that 3 seconds is going to be extended, so he should be okay. Mikkel and PTR do both have a 5 second. Whether Mikkel can get that one removed at the end, because it was PTR who hit him.
We'll he tried it on the inside of 14, but he had to lift because Eccentric was, of course, taking the racing line. Right now pushing on those mediums. Sid as well, well, he's right now on traffic, but with those mediums, I think he can finish probably even the podium.
Well, we've seen a few good runs already here at Hungary this week. The problem being is how far away that top 4 is now. Captain of Gold hasn't really been able to hold pace with those front runners. 12-lap hold hards not being brilliant there. PTR, he picks up a 3-second time penalty to go along with his 5 seconds. That makes it 8 right now, I believe, for the Red Bull driver. You can see Sid here all over the rear. Eccentric just not having the traction on those aging hards that he would like, especially when you've got a Renault behind on 2-lap fresh mediums. So Sid, like you said, in a very, very strong position at this stage of the race. He just needs to stay consistent. Needs to be a bit patient as well. Trying on the inside of 14 is a bit irrelevant because you can just get that run into turn 1, which makes the pass so much easier and so much more secure as well. Makes it a little bit harder to come back for the move. Meanwhile, we'll see what Remco Van Putten can do. Ben the Bears, that's the fastest lap of the race. A 1:17 flat on hard tyres. Remco really needs to stay here within DRS range. And Mikkel, also worth noting, Remco's battery problems have been solved by that safety car. He really was allowed to sort of regain a lot of what he lost. Here goes Helium looking up the inside of Trin. Can he go for the lunge here down into turn 1? He's gone a little bit deep. Well, not deep, but a bit tight on the inside. That's just going to cross him. Enzo's been disqualified
for not serving the drive-through, as now Helium on the outside, very, very close with Trim. Trim will defend that, squeezing a little bit, but now in turn 3, they are side by side still. Oh, this is very clean right now, but now up into turn 4, who's gonna yield before? None of them, and there's the contact. Trin is going to go into the barrier, but, well, no, he actually saved it for that.
What a save, because he avoided it, or Rez and him avoided contact as well. So impressive driving from all involved there to sort of keep that incident clean. That corner is really just a game of chicken. You've got to, who is backing out first? If neither of you back out, it's going to end poorly for someone.
See it very close. PTR gets another 3-second time penalty.
That's so very quick.
Yeah, he did, well, 2 on 2 laps.
Yeah, but the first one he sort of collected over the first few laps, right? That one. Surely he's just picked that up. It's the front wing, I guess.
Yeah, has to be the damage. Has to be the damage. Just see, oh, almost goes. Went to the curb, almost lost the rear there. But who's that? It's Remco. Yeah, Remco on the inside. Remco on the inside of Mikau. This can be very crucial right now. Mediums Remco, but those mediums can die on the end. And Mikau knows it, but now is on the outside of turn 2. He will try the switch back, but Remco really defending that apex. What a good defending from him. Now Panda as well on the inside. No, sorry, on the outside of Captain. This can be as well very, very tense. Panda on, he's just ahead before turn 4, and that's crucial because this turn, well, we saw it on lap before, as Captain has a massive oversteer.
And that lets Sid through for P6. Sid really taking advantage of these mistakes and those medium tyres that he's got fitted to that Renault. So, like you were saying, he's got a good run here, and with no penalties as well. Sid is in for an excellent finish. He could be on for a career first podium here.
We can see it depends all on Remco's tires, I think.
Remco's tires, but you've got to remember PTR. Are the Red Bulls finally working together, or is that just an overtake for Remco Van Putten? Because Remco now in P2. Can Peter hold off Mikkel? We know they don't communicate with one another during the races. We've seen them fight one another before, but can this be the week that PTR becomes the tail gunner for Remco Van Putten, and they put their differences aside, come in for the constructors' points? And right now, it's P2 and P3. Obviously, Peter with those penalties, it's going to be hard for him to do anything right now, but if he can make this car wide enough, it's going to be a big, big problem for Mikkel. We've got Healy and Matt side by side. Sid and Panda, they're exchanging the Renault, making another move on the Williams. And Helium's made his move stick as well for P10.
Yeah, man, now outside the points, but he's still very close there on turn 4. Very good line there through that corner, very difficult to take. And with those hards as well, well, it can be very difficult on traction and the grip itself. Train having a 3-second time penalty right now outside the points, so it's not fighting for big things, it seems, as he's dropping a little bit on pace. Rez on fresher mediums, trying to push there to the points as well. Well, Helium and Matt has penalties, so he should be safe there, unless he has a penalty, as Mick is very close again on PTR.
There he's really looking for this position, but despite the damage, Peter's not doing terribly right now as they come through the final corner, and Mikkel not quite getting the run initially out of the corner, but DRS and ERS are really powering down into turn 1 right now. Look at the speed he is carrying into the outside of this corner. Where is PTR going to put himself? Right in the path of the AlphaTauri. He is really being a massive block in this train. They're side by side now through turn 2. That damage is really not stopping Peter from just holding that inside line, hugging it as they come through turn 3. Mikkel just gives him enough space, a little bit of contact between the two, and Mikkel's not ahead down into turn 4, which means for another lap he is stuck behind the Red Bull driver. Remco Van Putten has a 2-second gap now to these guys behind, and he is on for another podium finish this season.
Well, he needs to save the tires. That's, I think, what they're trying to do. Pit's here blocking Mika. Remco's now on clean air, and now he can save the tires, and that's, I think, the crucial thing, because if Remco can't go to the end, well, he can go nowhere. So I think that's the main thing for the Red Bull drivers, to keep Remco with that tire safe till the end. Right now it's 11 laps when Ben will cross the line. So I think that's the plan A. That's the first plan that they have on mind.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is that Remco's tires, they have been preserved a little bit under that safety car. With this moment he's got now, he can just sort of relax a little bit, save a little bit of battery. He's not saving battery at all, though. He is down near single digits, so that's very risky for him, and that could prove him problems later in the race. Mika not getting down into turn one. Eccentric captain the goal. There's a massive end plate flying off of the Ferrari, and there's a big slide from him as well. His teammate's going to get past him too. And Eccentric, they're not having a good turn one at all. Helium now side by side with them as they come down to turn two. What is the Williams able to achieve? He is able to snatch P9 away from him, and he's having a pretty good safety car restart here. He's climbed a fair few positions. Mikau, is he going to have a look up the outside of turn 5? I think he wanted to. Maybe I'll run to 6.
No, he will not try on that again. PTR understeering, you can see there the damage consequences. 3.6, 3.7 now is the gap between both teammates on the Red Bull squad. And Sid. Sid is there behind.
Well, he has caught up so quickly. The damage that PTR's got, he's been holding up Mikau on these old hards. Sid's sitting here. Fresh mediums. Spotless front wing. And no penalties. So he could see himself on this podium at the end of the race. There's
an important thing that Sid doesn't know how much slower they are going to, well, to go on those sectors too, on the S's. So he really needs to be patient and see which is the speed on the apex of these two drivers, because otherwise he can collect damage. But it seems like right now he's clean. Mika is trying the switch back, not going to find it again. PTR on mediums really finding the extraction, but Mika on the outside, he'll try it now. On turn 2, understeering a little bit the Red Bull. There's a little bit of contact. Ooh, PTR is just ahead, and Sid will try it. I don't think so. These are a little behind. Mika putting the car there, trying to look on the inside, but not going to find it now. This is very close.
Yeah, absolutely. Sid right now being very patient, and he needs to be as well. He doesn't want to throw away what is a good opportunity here. And what I've seen from him so far, he hasn't been here for too long in MRL, from what I understand, you know, racing other leagues elsewhere, particularly with some of these guys as well. So he's got a little bit of confidence in the drivers that he's raced with before. But right now, on these mediums, he knows he's got the upper hand. He just needs to relax a little bit, sit behind these guys. There's no real threats behind. Panda, Captain of Gold on these 17, 18 lap old hards. Sid just needs to keep those tires in a great operating range, and this is the sort of run he needs. He needs a good run out of the last corner. Use these mediums where they are best. Use it for a good bit of traction here, then power out of the corner. He hasn't got it, though. He has had an absolutely terrible exit in comparison to the guys ahead, and particularly when you take into consideration the tires, as Mikau is going for a lunge on the outside. He has used nearly all of his battery to make this move work, and it hasn't. That's a big problem for him. PTR's right low on the ERS as well, but this time Mikau's got the inside into turn 2. This is the first time the Avatari's had it, and it's the first time that he's passed the Red Bull. But there's been a bit of contact between them, but they both managed to just keep it going in the right direction. Sid still watching on behind.
One try it. That's very aggressive, but it worked. And PTR, well, he almost got it there on the exit of turn 2, but a little bit of contact there understeering on Mikau's side, but I think cost him the traction needed. Sid almost losing the rear there on chicane, and Panda there as well, just well, on the DRS zone of all of this terrain. So Mikau can really push right now. He really needs to, actually, because Remco can't preserve more the tires. He really needs to push right now 8 laps to the end, and well, Sid really needs to clear the traffic as well.
Well, the thing is, if PTR wants to be an even better teammate than he's already been, he has put on a brilliant display of defensive driving with a damaged front wing. He needs to let Sid past this to go and fight Mikau. He needs that Renault here as a problem. The problem is he going to catch Remco by the end of this race? He's got 5 lap fresher mediums. That's the sort of risk that he plays, though. But Sid right now, he's struggling a little bit for pace out of that final corner. We've seen that a little bit elsewhere. But a lot of this is going to come down to the last 2 laps. We've got 7 laps to go right now here. If you're just tuning in, this is MRL APAC division. It's our last race of the week in the F1 cars. We'll have F2 tonight over on our YouTube channel. But if you're just tuning in, thank you and welcome. And a big shout out to our partner as well, to Next Level Racing, if you're looking for a sim racing rig or motion platform, that kind of thing. And be sure to check them out. They're doing brilliant things for the sim racing community. So we'd be very thankful if you check them out in the link in the chat or the panels down below. Meanwhile, Sid still struggling here. And he's got these benefit of the tyres compared to Mikkel. He's got a benefit of a fresh front wing compared to PTR. And he's not being able to really take advantage of it. Maybe he had a little look into the inside of turn 12 there, Alex. But I think, again, he's just erring on the side of caution and might just be, you know, looking to take fourth on penalties here.
I really don't think he should try to go for the podium. He's really close. Of course, the penalties are banned with 3 seconds. Remco has none. Mika has 5, but I think he will, well, appeal that as Pitcher goes defensive, tries on the straight. Now Sid will try the outside line of turn 1, really breaking late. It will be enough. They're side by side, but I think PTR is squeezing a little bit Sid again, as Remco did on Capsign. Oh, PTR going defensive there in turn 2. Oh, what a line for the Renault. What on the grip. Look at the grip. Look at the grip of the mediums. And no damage for Sid. That can be enough for having that P4. But PTR is using that overtake, trying to go for turn 4. But look at the understeer for the Red Bull.
Yeah, not quite sure why he used that ERS down into turn 4. That was never going to happen for him. And Sid is now passed. Can he use these tyres? They're not going to have much life left in them in terms of competitive edge over Mikkel. Mikkel's tyres 21 laps old, but they are the hard compound tyres, so they won't be feeling too bad in comparison to what Sid will be feeling in a few laps' time. And with the 1.8 second gap, no DRS to hold him in. The only advantage Sid has, a little bit more ERS in the tank, but I want to try and preserve that so that in the final few laps he can go and fight Mikkel. Right now, he will beat Mikkel in terms of penalties, like you said, though. Mikkel might be able to get his removed after the race. So if that happens, then Sid really... It depends. We'll probably be ending up interviewing Sid if it all continues this way. He needs to overtake Mikkel on track. Whether he knows that or not, don't know if he's being engineered as Panda looking around the outside of PTR. The Red Bull, it's slipping through his fingers lap by lap, but he's put on another brilliant bit of defensive driving through turn 1. He holds on to P5 for now. He's still got those 8 seconds of penalties, and that's going to see him drop massively. Probably to at least P10, if not outside of the points. Here goes the Williams around the outside of turn 4. He's going to try it. It's a very risky move. He's sort of done it off the track. He might even get an illegal overtake for that one. And there goes PTR around the outside. I think that's probably as a result of Panda having to give that position back. That's another reason why you never really want to go for that move. Sid is catching Mikkel, though. He is doing an excellent job now. Now that he's not behind that Red Bull, the lap times seem to be improving for the Renault. And if he keeps going, he's going to get DRS. He needs DRS, Alex.
I think 4/10 he got on that last lap. Sid really pushing. So yeah, the DRS is going to be crucial for him. Of course, when you have the DRS, you will be closer with the slipstream, the DRS, and you can really have the run. But Sid doesn't seem like he's having the run out of the last corner. At least we saw that compared to PTR and Mikkel before.
Yeah, the difference is those sort of like tyre advantage. Meanwhile, Ben the Bear, he's got a 3-second time penalty. He's got 12.6 seconds. There's a nice little buffer there. As combined YouTuber, is he going to have a look around the outside of Captain of Gold? He is. Rez and Helium behind them. They're battling as well, but it's the Ferrari looking at Captain. And Captain holds them off, meanwhile behind. That battle's concluded. Helium ahead of Rez for P9. These final point scoring positions all still heated up. Panda, sorry, in the Williams. Still on the rear of Peter. Not finding a move there. Sid, this is the sector. This is the, 5 or so corners where he's got an advantage over Mikkel significantly. He needs to make sure he nails it, and he hasn't. He's had a bit of an issue there. You can see him correcting the wheel, and that's going to slow him down big time. He's actually lost time through the sector where he should have the biggest advantage over the Australian. And as it stands, he does not have a lot of time until these tyres equalise.
Yeah, I think he's doing more mistakes than usual. He lost all the advantage he had on these last 2 laps. And now he's up again into 1.8 range. So he needs to... Well, I think it probably can be too late now on lap 32 of 35.
He's pushing now. ERS in utilisation. Mikkel's still using his battery as well throughout the lap here. We've got PTR and Panda hugging the pit wall. And I think Panda, he's used all of his battery to go for this lunge up the inside. And PTI is just giving him a huge squeeze. Rez and Helium. The other Williams, Rez getting a big slide out of turn 1. Drops him to P10 and Helium up into P9.
Panda tried it, but it was too risky on no damage as well
and
for
he's caught,
Combined.
collected, Combined. Combined's gone into the side of the Williams, who's just sort of tried to get it off into that grass. There's not a lot of space there.
Panda went super aggressive. He was not even alongside on the braking zone and tried to put the car there on the inside and touch the rear of PTR. I don't think PTR had any fault at that, but we'll see later. But I think Panda risked it so much when he didn't have to. PTR had penalties, so Panda didn't, and I think he risked it. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys, they'll be...
Oh,
just put it with that. Yeah, there he goes again. And it's all over for the Williams, pretty much. There's not a lot you could do to come back for this one, particularly considering that there won't be a safety car at this stage of the race. It's far too late. You can see the huge damage to that front wing right now. That's pretty much it. Captain the Gold, meanwhile, he's been slowly catching up to PTR, and obviously the penalty situation here is going to play a role, but
I don't think Captain needs to risk too much. I mean, he saw what happens when you risk too much with PTR, or not with PTR, but with any driver, and he went to the inside very risky, and that happens. Now Cello will be trying a move on Trin. I think this can be for points, as Matt has penalties. I don't know how much though, but he has 3 seconds, so Cello really needs to catch on these 2 laps to get some points. But will be
he's just got another penalty.
14 seconds penalties.
That's huge. He'll be lucky if he finishes in the points, to be honest. With the rate at which he's picking up these penalties, he might even be sort of in danger of dropping out of the points. With Cello having no penalties, you know, Rez Combined, they should get him. Helium.
Sid.
Yeah.
Look at Sid. Sorry to interrupt, but look at Sid. He's now on DRS, but I don't know if it's too late, as I said. I think it could be too late. He's on 15 lap mediums. I really don't know which side right now is the best of these two.
Well, he's got 2 laps.
He's improving. He's improving his laps. I think
And
he's
now he
set
has
just his
DRS.
personal best. But well, they're almost even on battery as well.
Let's see what happens between these two. It's going to be a showdown to the end. Sid, he's had a great drive, a few mistakes here and there, and there's another. Just snapping that wheel back. And that's the kind of thing that's costing him unnecessary time to Mikkel ahead. So he'll want to get that ironed out, but right now it's fairly new to MRL, and he's put on some impressive drives so far. A first podium here would be, you know, the cherry on the cake for the first 3 or so weeks I think we've had him here. As Mikkel right now just ahead of him, and I think the tyres have equalized. We've seen Sid struggle through here. Like you say, he seems to be improving. He's not having those corrections. He's sort of violently shaking that wheel on and off the curves. Ben the Bear sets his fastest at 116.1. I think that's about 9/10 faster than his previous fastest. So he is just really just putting salt in the wound for everyone else in this range. What a
Street and
drive,
bad
man.
now on soft, so probably Panda will take that fastest lap. But well, just setting the fastest lap on almost your last lap of the race with 17 lap old hards, well, just proves how fast you can go. And probably he has been conserving a little bit as Mikkel closing the gap on Ramco, but not enough. Doesn't seem like will be enough, and doesn't seem like will be enough as well for Sid. I don't know if Sid knows that Mikkel's penalty will be removed. At least, well, should be removed after not being his fault that he was stabbed behind under safety car. But if Sid doesn't know that that can be removed, that can be a little bit bad for him. As PTR and Captain going side by side. Oh,
Captain's in the wall. Captain's smashed through a load of braking boards, and well, I'm not quite sure how that happened, but side by side through turn 3, a little bit risky. And there we go.
I mean, they locked the wheels, but I don't know. Well, now PTR has crashed on the. And not only PTR, but Matt. Oh my god!
What has happened?
Matt. Oh, another. Oh, I really don't know what is happening. As well, Ben will take the flag now. Remco second. Mika third, of course, Sid will jump on penalties, but I think Mika's penalties, as I said, will get removed. So it should be a P3 for Mika. Now Helium will be crossing the line on P5.
Yeah, what a crazy end to this race. Sid right now on the podium, so we will be interviewing Sid, regardless of whether Mika's penalty gets removed post-race by the stewards or not. Captain of Gold, despite that last lap action, still manages to pick up some points in P7. Combined YouTuber 8th, Cello 9th, Peter, well, he crosses 10th, but he's got a lot of penalties to his name. So can Matt here score a point in that Alfa Romeo as he comes down towards the line? He can. He picks up 10th place, unless Trin has got less. I don't know where Trin finished. It's going to pop up on our screen. It should do. It's 12th for Trin. So Matt, he scores a point in the race, but there we are. What a dramatic end to that race. A very, very crazy one. But it's Ben the Bear for the 5th week in a row who takes the top spot of the podium. He's joined by Remco Van Buiten, a soft-medium strategy that paid off for him. A lot of teamwork as well involved in that P2. And Sid, for the first time on the podium, whether he stays there post-race, we're not quite sure, but we'll interview him regardless as if he's got that 3rd place. So we'll see how it happens. But let's take one last look at this finishing order. From 9th on the grid, Ben the Bear takes the medium hards to victory here in Hungary. Remco Van Buiten finishes in P2. Sid in P3 with his fellow countryman Nick out behind him in P4. Helium, he finishes 5th from 16th on the grid. What a drive from the Williams today. Rez in P6 from 11th. Captain of Gold, pretty bad race for him. 7th place, a bit of bad luck on that last lap as well. So really cost him there, but a good drive nonetheless from him. Combined YouTuber 8th. Cello in 9th. And Matt finishes in 10th place. Then outside of the points, we've got Peter in 11th. Trin in 12th. Panda 13th. Eccentric in 14th. And then below that, we've got Psycho and Shrimp in 15th and 16th. And Emzo failing to finish this one, well, as well as Psycho, Eccentric, Shrimp as well. But my oh my, what a race. What drama as well, Alex, on that sort of final lap. And also that safety car restart. There was a lot of drama all over the shop for these guys. But my goodness.
Well, the last lap, just a contact between PTR and Captain that cost, I think, P5 should be for Captain. Even before, I really don't know. And, well, and of course, Matt as well, I think, was on points. And he was involved in another crash on turn 6 and 7 with PTR. So, I really don't think PTR had the best race as well as another drivers. I think Eccentric as well had to retire on pits after having damage, trying to overtake or something. And well, it was a little bit chaotic at the end, but as well, good racing we had side by side on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, even turn 4, which is difficult to see. So really happy with that.
Absolutely. A lot of drama. Ben the Bear extensively at the top of the standings. Mikau only finishing P4, maybe P3 post-race. So we'll see how that goes. And, well, as it stands, Remco Van Buiten, I think, well, he's closed the gap to Captain there. We'll see who we've got available for an interview. And then hopefully we can get those as quickly as possible.
I think we had Sid there already.
We do indeed. Sid, welcome to the commentary for the first time, your first podium. You know,
yeah,
3rd race here in MRL. You've got to be pretty happy with that one. A bit of a chaotic race over the board, but, you know, tire strategy worked out for you. How are you feeling?
yeah, I'm actually pretty happy. It was quite chaotic, especially at the start. A lot of drama happened between me and I think it was Emzo or something like that. I mean, I don't know what happened during the stream, but on my screen he turned in on me. So if he does report, I do have evidence. But yeah, it was a tough race. I did get wing damage, so I had to pit for hards. I was debating whether I would put the mediums or the hards on, but I decided to put the hards on. And lucky that second safety car came out, so I could put the mediums on to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw that strategy really pay off for you. Those mediums in those dying stages. You had Remco Van Putten, he'd sort of run away with, PTR holding up Mikkel for an extended period of time, allowed you to bring yourself into that fight. It looked like you were struggling a little bit in those sort of last few stages of the race, but then you really, just in those last 3 or 4 laps, brought the fight to Mikkel on those mediums. How were the tyres feeling? How hard was that push, to just sort of keep
Yeah,
that gap close?
I couldn't remember what lap the safety car came out, but I came in, sorry, out, whatever. But I was very worried on tires. I haven't done that much practice at Hungary, so I didn't know if the meetings would last or not. So that's why the entire time I was really, really conservative. When PDR and Mikhail were battling, I just said, okay, I'm going to sit behind them and let these guys battle and all that. And as soon as Mikhail got past, I knew because these guys were battling like to the nail. All of them had red lights on. They had no ERS at all. So I knew if I sat behind them and then one of them got through, I would have overtaken the other one on the next lap. And Mikhail did get through. So that was my call to overtake PDR because he was quite slow. I think I don't know if he got damage or not because there was quite a bit of contact with them. And yeah, after I overtook PDR, my goal was just to save the tires because I didn't know if they would make it on to the end. And then I checked the tires; they were decent, so I started pushing the last 3 laps, and I caught up to Mikhail. He did have a 5 second penalty, and I was trying to overtake him in the last dying stage of the race, but I simply had no ARS, so. I was trying to overtake him because I did have that thought that that 5 second would get removed because I obviously didn't know what it was for. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with P3 at the moment, and we'll see what happens at the start if I get any penalties with that or not as well.
Yeah, I think there might be a possibility of Mikkel's being removed, but either way, you made a really good fight today. So a big congratulations, your first podium. You know, even if Mikkel's penalty does get removed, still P4. What a drive!
Mm.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Appreciate you taking the time out for coming
Thank
for
you
us the
so much,
interview.
man. Thank you. Have a good day. Thanks.
All right, and then Bitter, we don't have Remco Van Putten for P2, but we do have Ben the Bear for the 5th time in a row. Bito, I'll let you take it away, but Ben, from me, congratulations on your 5th win in a row.
Yeah, very very good race for Ben. Well, what happened in qualifying? You were on mediums. You were doing some runs on the mediums, and then you lost it on the exit of turn 11. What happened there?
I think I was trying to do another improvement on the mediums because I wanted to start on the mediums actually. I think what happened was I should have let the tires cool down probably another lap before going for another lap on the mediums again. So I think that was my mistake for miscalculating the temperature.
Yeah, temperatures can be very harsh here in Hungary, but I think you said it. But you really wanted to go to the mediums to start this race, or you didn't?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really
So,
wanted to.
but you were aware of the traffic that could happen there. Well, you didn't have that much traffic, but did you suffer on the first laps? I think PCR was attacking you as well there on the
Yeah,
start. How those that first stint how that was?
I would say it was very tough with the setup. I think going through the field was probably hard because the setup wasn't built for that. It was built for probably just outright just constant fast left. So I was hampered in that area for a bit. I think PTR got the better start under the safety car restart. So maybe probably look into that a bit more. But I think it worked out okay actually at the end.
Yeah, it was good. You did set the fastest lap with your hearts, but then I think Panda stole it. But what you were pushing constantly, or you tried to save it to that last lap, just to do well. The fastest lap at that moment was.
I was targeting, I think, a certain lap time just throughout the whole race, just to get away from Remco. But at the same time, I wanted to try last run for fastest lap. Also, save my tires for just in case a very late safety car and I missed the pit. So that's why it was been probably ups and downs, probably on the timing tower with sector times. But yeah, it went pretty well.
So unicorns seems like everything was covered for the Mercedes driver today, who got not the pole position. I think he started on P9 on the mediums, but got the win and almost the fastest lap. So for me, that's all. Well, congratulations for you for that win. Again, I think it was the 5th in a row. You said unicorn.
Yeah, 5th in a row. Ben, before we let you go, Spa, how are you feeling before next race? Can you make it 6 in a row now?
Expect the unexpected. Nah, don't know. I really don't know. Anything could happen. It's racing. So I'll try my best though, just to keep pushing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Ben, thanks again, as always, for taking the time out to come and interview here with us. And again, just a huge congratulations on another incredible drive.
Thank you.
All right, and with that being said, we've just about wrapped up here for APAC Division. But before we go, remember, Alex and I will be back later today, not here on Twitch, but over on our YouTube channel again for the F2. It worked out quite well last week. So if you want to catch the live stream, make sure you subscribe over there. That'll be at 8 p.m. BST, 3 p.m. for Eastern Daylight Time for everyone in the Americas. But Alex, before we go and do our closing announcements, any last words on that race?
I really hope I can be next time on APAC as well. It's always intense racing. So yeah, as you said, today at 8 p.m. UK time, we'll be racing on YouTube on the F2 cars on Hungary as well.
Yeah, and Hungary's provided some great racing. If you want to go and watch some of the other Hungarian Grand Prix we've had this week, go and make sure you check out our YouTube channel. All the race replays, highlights, as well as Saltzman's Charge are up there. Highly recommend you give that one a watch, as well as join the Discord if you want to be part of a brilliant sim racing community. Make sure you get yourself in there, community races, as well as get notified every time we go live here on Twitch. And make sure to check out our amazing partners, Next Level Racing, via the chat link or the panels down below if you're looking for any sort of sim racing rig motion platform, that kind of thing. But we're going to hit you with the outro, as always, before raining a member of the F1 community. So thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.